Okay, then I think we're ready for slideshow. We'll give the time to Elena for the slideshow.
Good evening, everyone. Wow, we're quite a crowd here. I'm glad. I have never before had this many siblings come and visit me at the same time here in Belize, so I'm very happy to have them here. Tonight's slideshow is short, hopefully sweet. It will mainly be looking back at our previous reunion, which was in 2005 up in Canada. So just remember, each one of you is 13 years older than you were back then. So, and aging, we know, is the most obvious fact in life, but thankfully, we have all aged. So it's not just one person. Some have passed, and this creates mixed emotions for this reunion. One thing that I specifically wanted to say before the slideshow begins is there will be a few video clips from the last reunion, and what really caught my attention in one of the foot races we did was that from, I think it was the uncle's race, foot race, Uncle Tony crosses the finish line first from that group. So I'm not sure if that fits because he wasn't the first one to finish the race here on Earth. But I just thought that was interesting, and I want you to know that when you see the video clip, that is Uncle Tony crossing that finish line. I think that's about it, and we'll start it.
Cousins I haven't seen for decades, and we're finally here together. It's a great time to have you here. I will take a little time because I know we're behind schedule, but eindelijk wat de vierde van de reden is even wanneer we de pieces spelen. Wanneer we hier een pieces spelen? Oh, met de aankomst al in worden. Okay. Yeah, I guess a lot of you guys will remember that when we had our family gatherings, we had some rough games. I, unfortunately, was always a criminal, so. Yeah, and first of all, we'll talk about the day trips a bit. We have 3 day trips still pending. I think some of you did the one at Dupois and canoeing today. I hope you had a lot of fun. I made a little poster that we'll have at the booth that you can't see from there more than likely. So the posters will be at the booth together with a sign-up sheet for each individual trip because we have different persons organizing these trips. And also you can still sign up online. Actually, all the information does have to go to a central location, which is right now what Abe is doing online, because we need to know how many people are going on the trip to see how much food we're going to cook, how much boats we need, how much vehicles we need. So first of all, the day trip on Monday, March 12th, would be the Maya Ruin trip. It is going to be to Tsunantanuch, if I remember properly or correctly. The cost is $20 Belize. Actually, yeah, $20 for a non-Belizean, because here in Belize, I guess we're a bit biased. We allow our Belizeans to visit our sites a bit cheaper, so $20 for non-Belizeans, $10 for Belizeans. That is, I think, is just the park fee. If I'm not mistaken, it's only park fee. So the transportation will have to be arranged, depends on who all gets there to go. Then we'll figure out who all will be driving. Okay, I have here 12. That was a guess. I wasn't sure what time we're going to leave. So right now, Abe is saying whoever wants to go on the Mountain Pine Ridge, no, I'm sorry, the Tsunantanuch trip needs to go to Abe's house, or be there rather, by 12:30 on Monday. 12:30 Monday noon, so I guess you'll leave at 1. It's a very short trip, it's not very far. So that is a Maya Ruin trip. We'll give you more information in the booth that you need, and please sign up online if you still want to. The second trip is going to be the Mountain Pine Ridge trip. If you all remember, I guess some of you younger or middle-aged cousins we always, or a lot of time, went to the Mountain Pine Ridge, either Balderbeacon, the Rio and Pools, and we always had a blast. What we did not know at the time was that if you drive down that road to Balderbeacon, all we saw was a bunch of bald hills and a few trees. If you were lucky, you found a few trees. These falls are actually all in that area where I never thought there was anything pretty there except bald hills where you could roll down stones and tires and whatever else we could find. So we're going to go to Mountain Pine Ridge. It's going to be on Tuesday, March the 13th. We are hoping to have 3 categories. Well, I went there yesterday We probably only need 2 categories where pretty much anybody can see the first 4 falls. There's very little hiking involved to see the first 4 falls. The last one, the last row, that is a hike about 45 minutes one way, an hour and a half hike, where you see a bunch of falls. But we plan to meet where I don't know yet. I guess we have to figure it out. But it's going to be swimming and a meal around these falls here. These falls we'll visit on our way to there. Then after the meal, the young and young at heart will have a hike. Again, we want to explain to you more personally when you come and sign up, because it takes too long here. Cost is $20 per person. Again, that includes food, water to drink, or tea to drink, and some fixing up that we have to do there, some tents, some chairs and stuff like that. There's no park fees included there, because we're not going to see the 1,000-foot falls from where they charge you. We're going to go opposite the cliff to go and see. But if anybody doesn't go, you're going to miss out. But I don't think I want all of you there, because it would be a little bit too rough. But please, if you want to sign up for the Mountain Climbers trip, there's going to be more information at the booth. We'll have to decide where we meet. I would suggest we depart at 9 and be back at 4:30. It's a fairly long drive. The road is not paved. Last trip is the ocean trip, which was the most difficult to organize, because a lot more goes into an ocean trip, where boats and life vests and everything else is involved. This trip is going to be, and by the way, if you have questions on the Mountain Climbers trip, I have volunteered to be responsible. I would much rather live there than anywhere else. I know the area pretty good. So I have volunteered to take on the Mountain Climbers trip. The ocean trip, again, it's a little bit more difficult. We are hoping to go to South Water Key, which is a nice key in Hopkins. We have the availability, first of all, to just go there and hang out for the day. And swim. It's going to be, lunch is going to be included, or the transportation from here again to Hopkins will have to be depending on who all goes. We'll gather together, and we hope somebody else will actually supply your vehicle to go. Whoever wants to go will actually say, well, I'll go in my truck, who wants to go along. One non-alcoholic drink, first of all, lunch, one non-alcoholic drink, use of their lounge, assigned beach area, boat ride to Key. So we're taking to the Key for the first price, which is $85. If you want to snorkel, you get snorkeling gear right there. They'll have a guided tour with you guys that will go out in groups. That would be $10 extra. So just this is $85 right here, and paying $95 if you want to snorkel. If you want to go fishing, which is within the reef, not far, you add another $40. So it's going to be $95 plus $40 to $135. $135, and you get to fish half a day. If you want to go deep sea fishing, which most of us have not done yet, it will be an additional $110. So we actually, to go deep sea fishing is going to be $135. Now we all know fishing is not cheap for those of us that have done it. So you might say this is ridiculous, you're crazy. We're actually probably going to break even or lose with these prices already, but we want you all to have fun. For the deep sea trip, deep sea fishing, if we don't get at least 5 people to sign up, we won't go at all. Because it's a lot of gas, we won't go deep sea fishing for a few people. The half-day fishing, we can add more boats, snorkeling anybody can do, hang out at the beach anybody can do. And one thing I want to remind you though, some days you go out and you don't catch a fish with a very good guide. Next day you go to the same spot with the same guide and you can catch a whole cooler of fish. So don't think that we're going fishing or we're going to catch the best amount you ever caught. So, but I hope we'll have a good fishing day. I think that's all for the trips. Again, we'll get more, and again, I have volunteered myself to help with the organizing of this trip. Lastly, the souvenir booth. We already have quite a bit of souvenirs. Unfortunately, the light doesn't work tonight, so you won't be able to see exactly what we have there. The plan is to have you all who brought souvenirs take it there and give us a price for what we sell it for, so we can put a price on it. If you have already taken items there and there's no price on it, please give us a price. Myself and my sister Annie will be responsible. Somebody will be there after this event today, because we need to find out how much we need to charge for certain items. And as of tomorrow morning, I don't think we'll open the gift shop today. As of tomorrow morning, the gift shop should be open. There's some quite unique items there. Anybody brought something, has not taken them there yet, please do so. It should be fun to go and get and find what we have there. We're going to pick out a number of items to do an auction. There's some auction in the schedule somewhere. I think it's the last night or something, I'm not sure. So there'll be an auction. We'll have those items on display that you'll be able to bid for at the end of the day. We'll have a silent auction during the event. There'll be a number of items. We'll have a paper attached to it where everybody can silently go and bid for it. And we will not tell you which item we're going to sell, nor what time. Just during an event sometime tomorrow, maybe tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to bring one of those events and say this is now sold. We're not going to tell you you can bid by such and such an hour, because then there'll be a rush last minute to choose the highest bidder. You'll be surprised when it's called. So we're just going to take the item, bring it up here, and read out the person that gave us the last bid. So if you want to bid on those silent auction items, don't depend on it happening on Sunday, because one of them or two of them might already have been sold by tomorrow. So please, if you want to take part in silent auction, please go do so at the booth as well. I think, other than that, I think we're good. The booth should be exciting. We are fortunate to have had an expo fair last weekend here, so we have a few nice booths that we have asked people to leave here for us to have this event. And once again, thank you all for coming. I'm happy to see you all, and the organizing committee, you all did a great job. Thank you.
Well, it's very nice to be here with you. Closer? Okay, is this better? It's a privilege for me to be here with our uncles and aunts and our cousins. It's have been very much been looking forward to that. So I know we're running a little bit short on time tonight. So the next thing that we want to do, we want some sharing from the uncles and aunts. But I'm just going to reinstate what Abe was saying there earlier. There's no pressure on any one of the uncles and aunts to share tonight. There's a few minutes to do so. If you only share some, that is very good. I was asked to do a little introduction to the uncle and aunts sharing. I will read a paragraph here really quick, just to make an introduction. Maybe it gives us a little bit of a feeling of where we're at, where we're today, and what has been happening in the last little while. Now, my name is John Duick. I'm Leo and Betty's oldest son, for those that don't know. My wife, Lena, is here as well. And my uncles and aunts used to call me Johnny. So that's who I am. The little I have been involved on planning side, I'm going to read something here just to see if we can get through this pretty quick. The little I have been involved on planning side of this weekend, I realize the hard work all of you have put in that are involved in taking care of all the planning details. Just a little thank you note in advance to the team. Abe Coop, Norma Reimer, Lina Bartman, Bertha Reimer, Betty Reimer, Mary Platt, Klaus Loewen, Frank Loewen, and Alvin Panner. I hope I got them all, but just want to say a little thank you in advance. It is so good to see all you uncles and aunts and all cousins. This weekend, from the uncle and aunts, we have 4 brothers, we have 4 sisters that are here with us today. Uncle Aaron from Manitoba, Uncle Abe from Spanish Lookout, Uncle Peter from Spanish Lookout, Uncle Alvin from Montreal, Canada. From the sisters, we have Auntie Lena from Balmopan, Elena. We have Aunt Mary from Nova Scotia, Auntie Esther from Manitoba, and Auntie Margaret from Manitoba. Only Aunt Betty is not here, that is still with us. Betty is my mom. Her heart is here. She said it is very hard not to be here, but since Dad is not doing well, she could not come. On her way to the airport, I called her and comforted her and said she made the right decision not to come. We will miss her. We will also dearly miss the uncles and aunt that are not with us anymore. Uncle Mano, Uncle John, Uncle Tony, and Naita, and then Auntie Sarah as well. We are so happy to be with the uncle and aunts that are here. We also will cherish the memories of the uncles and aunts that are not with us anymore. I especially want to say to Uncle David Coop and Auntie Nettie Loewen, who are very recently have lost their lifetime spouses or partners. We will keep you in our prayers through this weekend and beyond. with an extended hand and support. So how many minutes do we have for any uncle and aunts that want to share something tonight? We have probably about 10 minutes. So if there's anybody of you that want to say something tonight, you're more than welcome to come up to the mic and say a few things. Again, there's no pressure for tonight. This opportunity will be here every evening to say something, but I'm so happy to see you. It's just great to see all of you. And anything that you can say is going to be very much appreciated. So if there's anybody that wants to say something tonight, you're more than welcome. I'll give the mic over. If not, while you're thinking about it, I'm going to ask a couple of questions. It's random questions. What two things did Grandpa always have on the car? Who would know that? Okay, a dog.
Water.
Water and ice. The ones that I wrote down here, that I remember very clearly, it was a fan on the dashboard and a couple of bags of ice. And I'm sure he had a dog as well. And a bag of ice. He might have. I don't know. Oh, okay, to have air conditioning. Yes. Another question is, what three things did Grandpa have on the tractor all the time when going to the cattle? And some of you cousins will know this, the older cousins. There's three things he always had on the tractor.
Bucket full of rocks.
Bucket full of rocks. A pail full of rocks.
I think I wrote.
I can't remember that. The other one that he had was the dog was sitting on the bench. And he had a jug of water, pail of stones, and Fido on the board bench. Those are the three things that Grandpa always had on the tractor. I have quite a few other questions here. Where's Ben? Come up over here. This is my brother Ben, and if you look at the two of us, I think we've turned out to be pretty decent young men. And I want to ask you, there is the two of us. We both have gotten spanking from our aunts. Does anybody know who those are? Thank you. Tony asked her, and I think Auntie Margaret was helping.
Tante Margaret deed helemaal een uur erbij.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to see you that we actually turned out to be decent human beings. Anyway, I think that's good for you, man. I just wanted to show you that you were here. Should I keep it going? Is there anybody that wants to say something on the end, or are you all waiting for tomorrow? What lesson did Uncle Tony give his nephews and nieces in a corral on how to handle a mad Brahma cow? Anybody remember? Uncle Tony gave us a lesson. We were watching All in the Fence, and he says, this is what you do. I know, where's Peter Coop? you will remember it was Hayambaho at Mount Lives at a corral. He had a post in the middle of the corral. He walked in there with a rope, and he said, "Now watch." And he put a cow and a calf in there, and made it mad. And he stood behind the post, and he showed us how to win that battle. That was Uncle Tony. I'll pass it over to Uncle Alvin.
Hello. Some extreme experience. When I was 4 years old, my dad always went to Mexico to the mountains. But I was the boy who wouldn't cry if he took me for 2 weeks and had not one piece of food. Just my dad and I went. And he told me, in the evening it's very dangerous here about the timber wolves. Oh, they're just sleeping in a tent. And I said, oh, there he runs. So that's what was my experience when I was 4 years old. So.
Thank you. Who of the uncles brags about that he knows how to fry the eggs the best? Uncle Abe. You have told me that. You showed me how to fry an egg. You put it in the pan. Pan is very hot. One side, and you lift it up and hold it for 10 seconds. And he says you can't flip it until the pan is hot again. Then you flip it and put it down. The best eggs, I agree. Is there anybody else that wants to say something tonight? If not, I think this has been a long evening. I think we will stop here. I'll pass it over to Abe, if you want to continue this.
Okay, well, thank you. That was an appetizer. I think more is coming. Like in a high-test restaurant, you first get an appetizer, and then you get the main meal, and then so it goes on and on, right? Okay, I think we're about ready to dismiss here from the setting here, but I think there's a bonfire going. Is it Harold, or who was the person that has a word on the bonfire? Can I have a word from the person that has the bonfire? Harold? Yes? I'm sorry. Okay, so we're having some bonfire time out at the pond, just straight that way. Right? Anything else before we close here?
Speak it loud.
How about night lunch?
Oh, yes, there's a night lunch as soon as you walk out of here.
Ja, hallo alla, everybody. Ako pa sa basket are being axes are emotional tomorrow, and that's because Nada's not here and Tony is not here. But we're thankful they're another place.
Vi har kruisen og sprigezeen. And actually, I have been very sad about my sister Betty cannot be here either. But I was gonna talk to her last evening before we left, but she didn't answer. I was gonna tell her, Betty, if you would be able to ask Sister Naida, she would say, Betty, don't be too sad about it. It is way better where I am, and we will just be happy with the Lord together.
Thank you. Anything else before we dismiss here? Okay, night lunch is at the kitchen place again. So you can pass by and pick up a night lunch, enjoy the bonfire, or enjoy going home to your bed, whatever you choose, and at your time. Okay, thank you very much, and you're dismissed.